My name is Nora Bennett, and for most of my life, my family made sure I knew I was the lesser one, the quiet one, the one who'd never amount to much. But that all changed the day my grandparents' will was read. The room smelled faintly of leather and old paper. The lawyer's voice trembled slightly as he unfolded the final letter. My parents leaned forward, eyes glinting with expectation, while my sister crossed her arms, already picturing herself rich. And then came the words that turned everything silent. To my granddaughter, Nora Bennett, I leave the entirety of my estate. For a heartbeat, nobody moved. My mother's face fell first, her smile freezing mid-curve. My father's lips tightened. My sister laughed, a sharp, nervous sound that cracked the air. There must be a mistake, she said. She barely visited them. She's just the quiet one. But it wasn't a mistake. My grandparents had chosen me because I was the only one who ever stayed. When Grandpa got sick, I was there at every appointment. When Grandma couldn't sleep, I sat beside her, reading old poetry until she drifted off. I didn't do it for money. I did it because they were the only people who ever believed in me. For a few weeks, my family tried to keep things civil. They called, pretending to care, dropping hints about how it would be fair to share the estate. But when I refused, their words turned sharp. You've changed, my father said coldly. Money's made you greedy. Those words stayed with me. Greedy. They repeated them in every call, every text, until one night, my sister came to my door, tears in her eyes. You don't need all this, Nora, she whispered. You have no family of your own. Why not let us manage it for you? Her voice cracked in all the right places except her eyes never softened. I saw it then. This wasn't grief. It was hunger. That night, I made a decision. I wouldn't fight them with anger or words. I would fight them with silence and foresight. I met with an attorney the next morning and placed everything, every dollar, every property, every investment into an irrevocable trust. It was legally sealed, untouchable. I made sure that not a single cent could ever be transferred to anyone with my last name. A week later, the storm hit. My parents showed up with papers, threats, and eventually, a lawsuit. They accused me of manipulation, of controlling my grandparents in their final years. My sister posted cryptic messages online, painting me as heartless and money-obsessed. But the truth was simpler. I wasn't greedy, I was finally free. The court case dragged on for months. Each hearing chipped away at whatever thin thread of family we had left. I sat through it all, quiet, composed, while their lawyer shouted words like fraud, selfishness, and betrayal. In the end, the judge dismissed everything. The trust stood firm. When the verdict came, I didn't feel victorious, just empty. Winning against your own blood isn't a victory. It's a hollow kind of peace. I spent weeks walking through my grandparents' old home, now mine. Dust gathered on the picture frames, sunlight pooling on the wooden floors where Grandma once sat sewing. I realized then that this inheritance wasn't about money. It was about what they wanted me to do with it. They'd trusted me to protect it and to give it meaning, so I started something new. I created a scholarship fund in their names for children raised by relatives, just like I was. Kids who understood what it felt like to grow up half wanted, half forgotten. The first time I handed out a scholarship, I saw a young girl's eyes light up the same way mine once did when my grandparents told me I could be anything. Months later, I got an email from my sister. Just one line. You really did it, didn't you? I didn't reply. There was nothing left to say. That night, I walked into the garden my grandparents had built with their own hands. The roses were still blooming, soft pink and gold under the evening sun. I lit the old lantern that hung by the porch, a small, warm flame flickering against the dark. And as I watched it glow, I realized something. They called me greedy. They called me selfish. But in the end, they finally understood I wasn't chasing wealth. I was protecting love.